The most commonly repeated advice for weight loss is also one of the most damaging. Many people who struggle with weight are told that the problem lies in their willpower or discipline, when in reality the issue has little to do with either. The perspective presented here is based on more than 3 decades of direct, one-on-one work with over 40,000 individuals, including more than 8,700 documented success cases supported by before and after results and thousands of verified reviews. The conclusions are not theoretical, they are drawn from long-term observation of real outcomes. The most harmful weight loss advice continues to be the recommendation to lower calories and control portion sizes. This approach appears logical when weight loss is viewed as a simple calculation of calories consumed versus calories burned. The problem emerges when calorie restriction is applied repeatedly over long periods. As food intake decreases, the body responds by increasing hunger and intensifying cravings. This is a biological survival response, not a failure of discipline. Over time, the body adapts by conserving energy more efficiently, reducing the number of calories burned both at rest and during activity. Many individuals who follow this advice in early adulthood reach middle age feeling exhausted and unable to lose weight despite continued effort. The body does not shut down when calories are reduced. It adapts in ways that actively resist further weight loss, making long-term calorie restriction both ineffective and counterproductive. Low-calorie diets differ in important ways. Some reduce both calories and carbohydrates, while the more common approach maintains high carbohydrate intake and simply reduces portion size. When carbohydrates remain high, insulin levels stay elevated throughout the day. Insulin determines whether the body stores fat or burns it for energy. When insulin remains consistently high, fat becomes unavailable as a fuel source, forcing the body to rely primarily on sugar from food. This creates persistent hunger, energy fluctuations, irritability, and the need to eat frequently. Many people on these diets struggle to move from one meal to the next without fatigue or shakiness, not because of poor self-control, but because stored energy is inaccessible. Over time, this pattern leads to burnout, stalled progress, and misplaced self-blame, when the underlying issue lies with the dietary approach itself. To manage constant hunger, people are often advised to eat multiple small meals throughout the day to stabilize blood sugar. Although this appears reasonable, it reinforces the problem. Every meal triggers insulin release. Frequent eating prevents insulin from falling, keeping fat locked away and sustaining dependence on constant food intake for basic energy and focus. This approach becomes exhausting and unsustainable. When individuals eventually abandon it, they are often blamed for lacking motivation, despite the fact that the strategy conflicts with fundamental biological processes. As hunger intensifies, temporary solutions are frequently introduced. These include increasing fiber intake, drinking excessive amounts of water to suppress appetite, chewing gum to distract from hunger, or using appetite-suppressing medications such as Ozempic. While these methods may blunt hunger signals briefly, they do not address the hormonal conditions driving the problem. In some cases, they introduce additional risks and side effects. Suppressing hunger without restoring access to stored energy delays, rather than prevents the return of cravings, fatigue, and weight regain. The body can be compared to a hybrid system capable of running on both fat and sugar. When insulin levels are low, the body shifts smoothly into fat-burning mode and draws energy from stored fat. When insulin remains high, fat is unavailable and sugar becomes the dominant fuel source. In this state, the body operates in a conservation mode, similar to an efficiency setting, reducing output and limiting energy use. This results in fatigue, reduced mental clarity, lower motivation, and stalled weight loss, not because energy is absent, but because it cannot be accessed. This framework explains why individuals with significant fat stores can still experience chronic exhaustion. Fat represents stored energy, but elevated insulin prevents its use. In response, the body makes survival-based adjustments. Brain activity slows, leading to reduced focus. Cardiovascular efficiency declines. Thyroid signaling adapts downward, contributing to cold extremities and lower energy. At the same time, the nervous system remains in a prolonged stress state, placing strain on the liver, immune function, and hormonal balance. These changes reflect adaptation, not weakness, and help explain why calorie-focused dieting fails over time. A more effective approach focuses on reducing carbohydrate intake and incorporating intermittent fasting, Lower carbohydrate intake naturally reduces insulin levels, allowing stored fat to become available for energy. For individuals experiencing insulin resistance or long-term weight loss plateaus, a very low carbohydrate intake or temporary elimination of carbohydrates can significantly improve results. Intermittent fasting extends the periods during which the body relies on fat rather than sugar, reducing hunger and stabilizing energy. Over time, this approach supports clearer thinking and makes weight loss less effort-driven and more sustainable. Metabolic health is also influenced by factors beyond food. Light exposure plays a significant role in hormonal regulation. Bright artificial lighting at night, particularly blue light from screens, disrupts melatonin production and elevates cortisol, impairing sleep quality. Poor sleep alters hunger hormones, increases cravings, and slows fat loss. Dimming lights in the evening and limiting blue light exposure supports natural sleep rhythms. Morning exposure to natural sunlight helps regulate cortisol earlier in the day, improving alertness and allowing cortisol to decline appropriately at night, supporting restorative sleep and metabolic balance. Late-night eating further interferes with metabolic recovery by raising insulin levels during a period meant for rest and repair. In many cases, nighttime eating is driven by habit or stress rather than true hunger. As carbohydrate intake is reduced, hunger typically decreases and the urge to snack diminishes. Allowing longer gaps between meals improves the body's ability to shift away from sugar dependence and toward fat utilization. Removing highly processed foods from the immediate environment reinforces these changes by reducing constant exposure to temptation and making healthier choices more automatic. Regular walking is a highly effective yet often overlooked tool for improving metabolic health. Unlike intense exercise that can elevate stress hormones, walking supports blood sugar regulation, reduces stress, and improves sleep when practiced consistently. Adequate intake of animal protein supports tissue repair, hormone production, and stable energy levels. Digestive comfort is another indicator of metabolic alignment. Persistent bloating or discomfort suggests a mismatch between diet and physiological needs and may require adjustments in food selection, quantity, or timing. Additional tools can further support metabolic control when used appropriately. Apple cider vinegar before meals may assist digestion and moderate post-meal blood sugar responses. Periodic, prolonged fasting allows extended access to stored fat and activates cellular repair mechanisms. When applied correctly and intermittently, fasting can improve insulin sensitivity, reduce inflammation, and restore metabolic flexibility. The widespread struggle with weight loss is not a result of poor discipline or motivation. It reflects guidance that conflicts with human biology. Advising people to eat less while maintaining high carbohydrate intake keeps insulin elevated, locks away stored fat, and drives persistent hunger and fatigue. Over time, the body adapts to survive under these conditions, leading to stalled progress and the appearance of a slowed metabolism. When insulin levels are finally reduced through carbohydrate restriction and appropriate fasting, stored energy becomes accessible. Hunger decreases, energy stabilizes, and weight loss becomes a natural outcome of restored metabolic balance. This shift affects not only body weight, but also long-term health, focus, and overall vitality.